Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the Back Office Show. One of the worst things about being busy is that you don't often get time to dedicate to certain projects that you start and you should finish. So if you recall, this is from one of our previous videos on the Pi hat, the Pi1541 hat we made during all those live streams, and actually look, produce PCBs, get it all working, and I still haven't demoed one to you yet. So I'm really embarrassed about that because people like Rob in the Discord, and go and have a look in our Discord channel, have really taken on the challenge and actually just gone to the next level on this. So this is something Rob has sent me, and other people I've got from Rob, they're buying them from Rob on the Discord. And look at that, he's taken this to some next level stuff. Amazing, Rob, absolutely amazing. And look at this. And I've still got to hook mine up properly. I've got to drag my Commodore 64 out and just actually hook it up. And Rob is a very keen retro computer user at Commodore 64s and VIC-20s and the like, so he's been playing with this like that. But look at that, in the box you get a wonderful instruction guide, tells you all about it, how it all works, what is it all done, and then all the features of it, what you'll need. And look at this, well, you know, and basically it's a functioning manual. It's got all the links down below where you can go. Unfortunately, they are hyperlinks, you'd have to type them in, very hard to click, but I'm sure he'll send you those if you want to. And you can see the actual circuit diagram here, because he does it also as a kit, and a very professionally produced kit it is too. So you can just buy the PCB and all the parts from straight from Rob as a kit of parts, and you can actually just make your own and whack that thing together. So that's absolutely brilliant. I love that, Rob. Well done, sir. That's amazing. A printed manual in the day and age when you don't get printed manuals is something to behold. And that's especially true for things where you have to assemble electronic components, because sometimes you really, well, a lot of the time, you don't have your soldering iron and stuff next to your computer. It's not conducive to your computer work, or your mouse or your keyboard, to have something that produces all that heat there. Now this one is actually a slight variation on this one. So when I did the V2, which is this one, so remember we did the V1 in the stream, and then I designed a V2, which is the one you see right here. This is the one that we did in the build stream. We've taken a few more design steps on this one now, well, over to the V3. So this is a V3, the legendary V3. And gosh, I tell you what, there must be a lot of these in circulation now. I'm not sure on the numbers, but we're talking a minimum. Oh, there's a lot, put it that way, there is a lot. So this is the V3, and you can see they look somewhat similar. In that, yeah, maybe the colour of the buttons is slightly different, but there is actually more features on here too. So if you look in the top right corner, I've added an additional disk status LED light now. So you've got your power and your disk, so when it's working away it's flashing. But more importantly, I've reconfigured the actual port here on the right for the I2C, which means if you've got one of the screens, and I'm just sort of having a look around where I would have put one. I've got a box basically above the camera full of bits and bobs. I can't locate it, but I'll show you what the screen looks like. It's this sort of screen on a little edge PCB. It's now pin for pin compatible with that. There was a few different variants of LCD I2C screens. They'll all work, but the one I've chosen now, there's a module that will fit basically in here, and it'll be pin compatible with that. And we'll sort of certainly give you information on that and where to find those. So, and then that basically fits on top of your Raspberry Pi 3, in that you'll put your software that you can just download off the internet from Steve White's site. And then you can pop that on there. And it's up to you. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of these. You know, so these are the serial ports that you get on a Commodore 64, and they look like a sort of DIN wire, right? You just plug them in. And you can. So this is basically the most convenient way to plug it into your Commodore 64. So you'll just get a Commodore 64 serial lead that goes from that straight into your unit. Put some USB power on this. You'll need powering from somewhere, and then it will all work. And then you've just got all your buttons for choosing your disk or your which floppy you want, and then you can select that. You can also plug it into HDMI to a screen, because you'll get a screen output on there. So if you don't want to use the LCD, so you can use the LCD to tell you everything, or plug it into a nice screen. There's a nice ID on there that's always being improved. Or you can, via your phone, you can access this web page, and you can swap out all of the discs and images through apps on the phone which have nice pictures of the actual image you're using, and you can have all the cover art and instructions and everything like that too. So it's pretty flexible, and it's just getting going now. It's just getting going. We're looking at the possibility of putting this on a smaller platform. So you've got Raspberry Pi here today. You might have the Pi Zero, which is nice and small. Or I kind of feel you might be able to get away with it with an ARM Cortex. So if I'm so motivated, I might try to redesign one where I'll just take away this whole header, everything. We're talking about just putting where my thumb is there, there'll be a CPU there, and it'll just be a card. And once I've gone to that point, I can probably shrink it down and actually mount the screen on it in a neat way. It's basically as big as it is because it's nice for the Raspberry Pi, because you've got these mounting holes. There's no reason this thing couldn't be absolutely tiny. And then that's it. You got your clock cycle exact, so it's a purely exact emulation of a 1541 drive, which may or may not interest you. Who cares? You know, you might go, who cares about that? Well, it's up to you, isn't it? Depends what you want, what you're trying to run. It's interesting, actually. I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching a video on the Tapunos, and I really like those, and I'm thinking, why do you want that when you have this instantaneous loading you can have with you know, things that just sort of circumvent the old mechanisms, and they sort of just get their data in. The reason being, if I load up a old school computer, be it Commodore 64 or a Spectrum or something, or even a BBC Micro to some extent, using an SD card, and it comes on instantly, I feel I'm losing out. I'm losing out on the experience. Not only that, it's setting my expectation of the machine higher. So once it has instant booting, but it's instant booting into some game that's sort of 30 years old, I kind of feel disappointed then again, because it's sort of like as if I'm expecting it to boot up into like Mario Kart or something. It's a very weird mind psychological thing. So yeah, I kind of like these things because I want the experience to be as true as it can be. So I'm going to actually get a Commodore 64 out pretty soon, and we're going to go through all the functions and put these through its paces properly. And I might even invite Rob to come up and we'll do it together. We'll do it with the VIC-20 and a few of these, and because I'll have quite a number of spares of these around, I think we'll have a competition as well. So keep a look on the channel, maybe subscribe or join the Discord so you'd be aware of when that's happening, because normally if we do a competition it's going to be an answer within a few days. I don't want to hang around with the responsibility of collating competition entries or being in a stream or something. But yeah, keep a lookout for these, and we're definitely going to be doing a lot more on them in the future because I think it's a fun platform, and we might be just maybe adapting these to other things, see if what we can do with the BBC Micro, Sinclair Spectrum, other things. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can come up with one platform that's just going to do everything, to be honest with you. So let's get it done, sort it out. Atari ST, how about that too? Maybe we can have a ASCII interface, or AXI interface from the Atari ST from one of these, who knows. Okay guys, anyway, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for watching.